Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. In this Transport Fever 2 series, we're on a mission to deliver every product to every city, building the ultimate transport empire along the way. From trains to trucks, planes to ships. We're optimising every route to make sure no city is left without the goods it needs. So get your cup of tea ready and settle in for another action-packed episode of non-stop logistics. Let's get going. In today's episode, we're going to be further expanding our cargo network all through the northern end here. Now you can see as I've started up here, we've got a lot of vehicles rolling out of this new vehicle depot. Now, the reason this is here, and I've done it off camera, as you can see over here, that this crude oil well, it was just about to expire. If you see the end of the last video, the red bar was up counting down, so we had to use it. So I needed to add in a line that was going to utilise that oil well. So I thought, whilst I was doing it, with connecting all these kind of resources just to the station via a road route, I didn't think it'd be, overly interesting for you guys to watch. So what I have done is I've connected this iron mine here, the crude well, the forest, this oil refinery up here. I actually skipped this iron mine with having this one. We could come back to that later. But I've added all of those down just via truck routes, again in the same way we've been using so far, utilising any of these platforms. So if I stick this on 3 times speed and let those spread out, it should start bringing a decent amount of resources to this station now. You can see as well, I have added a little bit of sort of scenery down here just to try and make it look a little bit better. But for the remainder of this episode, there's a few things that I want to get achieved. Now the main thing is, you can see here, we do actually have another goods factory over at the other side of Hetton here, and a cargo hub here. And we briefly sort of talked about it in the last episode, but I think what I want to do is try and do this using the river here. If we can do this by boat. At the moment, we don't have any boats. And in general, playing the game, I tend to avoid them because they can be really slow at getting up and running. But I think this here, this short little route, should have the ability to make us a lot of money. And we don't need any of these goods in Hetton, so it's not really an issue that we're bypassing Hetton. What we should be able to do is pick up the plastic and steel that we need to create the goods at the train station here, bring them down and bring the goods back, get the goods on the train and send them back to where they're needed, or potentially in the future as we move up here. Actually, yes, Salcombe also needs goods, so it'd be a good thing to be producing them in the north, so all the ones at the bottom get swallowed up down there, and we use these here. So what we need to do is get the cargo harbour. So we want a harbour, and we do want it to be a large harbour, so we can have the ships. And it looks like, yes, it's actually worked out perfect, hasn't it? We can connect directly onto that road there and be within range. And I do think we only need this one harbour here. Then what we're also going to need to do is connect this one here, and I'm hoping this will connect to the station. It's doing some horrible things with the terrain though. But why is that not connecting? I think I've realised what it is. I think what we need to do is it miscellaneous? Side entrance. Yeah, we need to add the side entrance. But we can only put that onto a platform. So what we're going to have to do is put a platform this side. Now, do we want it this side? I think I want to chuck it on the end here. We only need that one piece to connect it to. What I don't want to do is disrupt this crane and things that I've put on. I think this is a really good idea. I've played about with the paint tool a little bit. I'm not 100% happy with how the paint ends at the end, the grass. It's very hard with the paint tools, I find anyway, because you've only got the circle and square. What I would really like is a square that lines up as a straight edge across here in any direction. But yeah, it's a little bit fiddly and a little bit hard to sort of orientate. But maybe I have a look at a nice sort of fence asset to put along there. Might be good. But hopefully now we've got that, I'm hoping this will connect straight in. It doesn't look like it's going to, which means we're probably going to need a little piece of road or something in there, aren't we? Let's have a look. Can we move this in any way? So that's sort of, yeah, we're going to need some kind of road. Okay, so that's not a problem. So what I'll have a look at here is it's going to have to be a country road. It only needs to be a small road as well because it's not really realistically going to need to connect to anything. I think what I probably will do, I don't really like what it's doing. That's that terrain. Sorry, there's a million things going through my head here at the moment. Terrain tool smoothing. We can increase that brush size. That makes it work for now. And then can we connect? It's doing really horrible things, isn't it? But if we can get this into the middle of the river, almost here, what that will give us the ability to do. Now we've got to have this road, and I don't want it to go all the way down there. I think the best way for me to do would be to delete this here take the road from as close to here as I can. Just get a little piece. Maybe not necessarily straight up, but if we go from here so we know that we're connected. Trying to hold down the shift key here to get it as far away. I don't want to go up and down. I just don't want it to snap. I can sort of get it straight. There looks about right to me. And we can come across and just past. And then I think what I will do, there we go, that looks a bit smooth. It's a little bit of a sharp hill there, but we are going down to the riverfront there, aren't we? So I'm not overly concerned about that. I think here, if we can get a nice straight run straight across, because no traffic is actually going to be using this, I'm not too worried about having a crossing. We'll tee that one in, and then here I think what we'll do to make the junction nice is we'll use the direct snap. But again, that's doing some horrible things, isn't it? Let's again get the smooth tool here. It's these little things in games like this, isn't it, that you don't think are going to take too long to achieve. But oh, I'm on track. That'd explain why it wasn't working. Yeah, there's these little things that you think won't take too long to achieve, but then as soon as you start trying to do them, it's a whole world of issues just because of things like the terrain. There we go. That looks much better now that we've done it like that. So hopefully this is now in touch with the cargo station, which it is. We've got our new bridge there. It's unfortunate actually we won't be sending any ships through sailing down there. I mean, there's no reason why we couldn't now, you know, put a cargo harbour further down there actually. But what we're definitely going to need now is a shipyard. And I wouldn't mind putting this on the opposite side of the river actually. It's always been a thought every time I've ever used a shipyard, and I've wondered why that this doesn't need to be connected to any road. I think that's pretty unusual, to be honest. I think, you know, how do the workers get there? Now, what we've got to think here is we've got plastic selected. We want to bring plastic back, but we need to, as we can see, well, we need to take plastic up as well as steel, don't we? But then we also need to bring goods back. So we need a cargo ship, and we want it large. We need to look for one that can carry everything. So the Vandal is only for fluids, so that's no good to us. We've got the Klondike at 19 miles per hour, can carry 110, or the Donara Castle at 16. So it looks like the Klondike's on. We're going to get big paddle steamers as well. I just want to make sure it's got plastics and it's got steel and it can carry goods back, so it will cover everything we need. And I'm hoping with it saying 2 compartments, I'm not sure if we'll be able to split this. We are going to have to set up that new line, aren't we? So that from the cargo harbour here, I'm hoping we could pick up sort of half plastic, half steel, and then bring back a full load of goods. I'm not sure if that'll work now. This is actually going to be our first SF line, isn't it, for sea freight? And we're in Hetton, so it's going to be for Hetton. And it's going to be goods. Hetton goods. Now there we go. Let's get rid of that horrible white overlay. Now what I want to see is at Hetton transfer here, if we set this load, the only thing we want it unloading here is goods. I want it to load for steel and load for plastic. If I put both of these as 50-50, hopefully that will make it work and it'll fill half of its hold with steel and half with plastic. So that should be coming out now. Let's have a quick look at that. Oh, he's going to crash. Where are you going? Oh. You can see he is just clipping the riverbank there. He's absolutely made a boo-boo. A brand new boat and he's already crashed it. They do look cool, these, don't they? The smoke coming out the chimney. It's got the name, the Klondike, across the back, and a big old school paddle steamer. Yeah, there's so many cabins here, I'm surprised this can't be mixed consist. It actually says here that it carries passengers, so it must be able to carry passengers as well. I just want to double check now, it's got me thinking. It can carry passengers, but it'll also carry what we need it to. Perfect. And then we get a blast of the horn as well. That is cool. Now, one thing I do want to look at that I noticed just as I put it down is, you see with boats, they tend to have a really wild and wonderful route that they take. And what you can do to stop that, so we can put these sort of, I can't remember the name of them, buoys. There we go. So what I like to do is I'll put one this side facing down the river and one this side here facing backwards. And then if we bring up the line, and after Hetton Port at the far end there, I want to go through this buoy. And after Hetton transfer, I want to go through this boy. But no, that's not helping us in the slightest, is it? It's just making it even more awkward. So it wants to go. Maybe what we need to do, let me pause it just so it doesn't mess the route up too much. We'll get rid of these and we'll swap the directions around. It can be a little bit fiddly, these. So we want to change it to this one on the way down, and this one on the way up. Now if we go manage line, so after Hetton Port, on the way down we want to go this side. And after Hetton Transfer, we want to go this side. And hopefully now, there we go. You can see now that that's a much smoother line. So if we do get to the point where we've got multiple boats, they're not crossing each other, because when they do, boats take such a long time to get up to speed. I'm calling them boats. They should be ships really, shouldn't they, I suppose? But if this one's maximum speed, I think, did it say it was 19 miles per hour? Yeah, so it'll take a while to get up to that. And if it knows that it's going to intersect a path of another one, it'll slow down to almost 0, and then it'll have to speed up again. So it has a real effect on your lines, actually. You can see now that all these vans are starting to do their work and they're bringing things in here. So that's that now, hopefully up and running, and I'm hoping we'll see here some kind of suppliers soon. Once that boat's made a trip both ways, it should show us that we can bring all of the goods up here. So have a look at the cargo train. So the last stop down here was at Padstow. So let's just double check. At Padstow before Hetton, what did we leave it off as? We told it to only load with machines, didn't we? Because we wanted to bring machines up. So it's going to bring machines and it's going to bring those up to Hetton. Is that what we wanted? Oh no, sorry, we have got it for load everything. We just have machines at 45%. Okay, cool. So we should be able to bring some stuff up here. And then up at Hetton, we've said it can load or unload whatever it wants to. We just specified here that only to load 45% machines for some reason. Now, I can't remember why we did that. Was that because we were just filling everything? I'll tell you what, I'll put it to 100 now, because now we've got the demand for other things. What I'm hoping for is to see some of this plastic and steel on the route up here. So if we start seeing it, it may take a little while to kick in, but via Hetton here, eventually I want to see that we've got some plastic and steel, because we are making the plastic over here. But what we may need to do is add more trucks in down here. But that for now, hopefully, we'll let this keep running. We are on ×1 speed here to keep things advancing. The other thing that I was looking at is because we've got such a crude oil build-up here, this guy here is getting swamped. It's getting, it's getting saturated. We're making so much here. We've got 2 suppliers coming in. What I'm thinking is, we can't sort of keep up with what's coming here. It's all going onto the rail and moving down. So what I'm thinking is, I want to do another little branch line, similarly to what we did with the food here. And I want to stick one that's going to refine some oil here. Just a little shunting route that's going to bring it up and back down again. So what I want to do first is add some tracks this side. And we're not going to go crazy here. We just want something that's going to go maybe 80. Just a small-ish route. I think that'll do us there. We can use the platform that's already there in the middle, that's not a problem. But we are going to have to add a station down here. Now, as you can see, there's a fair little bit of an uphill here. So we're going to have something with a lot of torque in it. We want trains, don't we? We need a building, and we're just going to need a terminal station. We could use the factory, but it's not really a factory, is it? Country Freight Line could work. But I sort of almost just want a terminal station. So if we go for cargo, we've got any other varieties here? A general freight station. A number of tracks. We do only need one. 150 is... I want to go for 200 just in case, but I think we'd probably be okay. And this will attach at this end as well. So which side does the rail cap off at? It's this back end here. Okay, that's fine. So if I can connect this in somewhere here that makes a bit of sense. It's a little bit too wild, that, isn't it? If we go for 150, is that going to help us a lot more? It is. We can get in there. It runs almost parallel with the road. Now it does. Too much curvature. That's just for the road. We can sort the road out. There we go. That's there. Let's just sort that road before I do forget, because it's very likely to happen. We just want this to connect. We'll go for curved because it doesn't really matter how we connect. There we go. That's nice enough. And then we want to go with that same track that we just had up there, don't we? So we want the darker colour and 80. There we go. We don't want catenary. Or do we? We're in 1939 now. Let's have a look at where do we have a train hub? It's down near Padstow, isn't it? It's here. So let's have a look what kind of vehicles we would have on this line. If we went for electric, what do we have here? The problem is these guys' running costs are not a hell of a lot. I mean, we've got 1 million here is the lowest, but we'll probably be looking at around the 1.4 for this AE447. I would imagine that's probably the one we're going to want to look for if we were to go electric. So 1.4 million. Now, if we were going to go for a different version, so say steam, we'd be looking at probably something like the kilowatt tractive effort here is only 500 though, whereas with that electric, looks like we've just ticked over a year, have we, and unlocked a new one here as well. 59, that's 1.2 million for 2,100. So that's actually better, isn't it? 1.2 for 2 million. It's 2,000 kilowatts though, whereas you see this bad thing here is only 500. Now if we look through here, what have we got here? 500, 500, 1,000. But we've got 1,000, but it's only 6. I think we're going to enter the electric era. I'm just trying to think how much money this is potentially going to make us, or is it going to absolutely crash and burn and cost us a lot of money? I'm tempted, you know, to just go with a crocodile. We haven't got one yet. Let's have a crocodile. We can always change it at a later date, can't we? But what that does mean is for this path that I've just put in here, this track even, we will need an electrified version of this, which is, have we got the 80 electrified? We have, but I need to get rid of this. It's going to be our first bit of electric. That's exciting, isn't it? And then there's this station here. Did we electrify this? We didn't, but was there an option? Can I configure the rail here? Gantry crane, electric track. Yes, there we go. Perfect. Gantry crane. Actually, I like the sound of a gantry train. Let's see how that looks. That does look pretty good, doesn't it, actually? Yeah, we'll keep that. And then we want this track. And again, now we do want catenary now. We are going to have to add, because this is our only electric track, we are going to have to add a rail yard. Not a rail yard, but a depot is the word that I'm looking for. God, this is very steep getting up here. How's the best way of us getting up here? We need to sort of head in that direction, don't we? Can we get out here again, out of the tunnel? Oof. If I was to connect it direct, what kind of tomfoolery would it provide me with? If I come this way and I start going down as much as possible. It looks like we're going to have a fully underground track. You know what? I don't know if I'm a fan of that. I can't see another way of getting this up there. I really don't like the idea of having that all the way underground though. I don't mind a little pieces of underground here and there, but I would like, if possible, to snake it down the hill. Don't mind if we have to come a bit wider around the bend, like this, to get down the hill. If we have to do a couple of S's or, you know, even some kind of mild helix or something. I don't want anything as drastic as a full spiral, I don't think, anything like that. But if we have to go long, not opposed to that if it gives us something that's a bit more visible from up above. There we go. I'm not opposed to the bit of tunnel there. That'll work for me. And we do want a tunnel entrance. Yes, I don't want to go through the ground. So, okay, perfect. So now what we are going to need though is that rail yard. So if I pull this off and we look at buildings, I want a depot. I might just go with a standard one here, actually, because we've used this other one that I've got as a mod before, and I'm not too impressed with just how small it is, I suppose, when we're pulling these massive trains out. So here we go. So now we want crocodile, and we put the station as 100, didn't we? We're going to be doing fuel here. well, oil. So we need the fuel carriages, or we could have the state cars. But I think we'll get some of the tankers just to make it look nice. And then we went up to 150 meters. So I want to look here where it says 73 meters at the moment. Get us up to about 150. 144 is good. 11 million. We have the money, so let's do that. We want a new line, and we want this to go from actually at the top here where we want it to get crude oil. And what I might do here actually is tell it to load crude oil 100%, and then I want it to unload refined oil. But here I'm actually going to tell it to wait for a full load. And then down here it'll just recollect then whatever's left. So then here we will say it's TF for train freight, and it's Lumley oil. There we go. So now we can have a look at this crocodile. Fantastic bit of machinery, this. And again, we get a whistle. Boats and trains playing game today. The lights are on to go through the tunnel down the bottom of the track. I wonder whether this other pantograph here actually comes up or down. Maybe when it needs a bit more power for something. The detail on this one's good, isn't it? I do like that. There's so many wheels. What an awesome loco that is. Cool, so I'll fast forward that now and wait to see if we get any crude oil over here. What we should start seeing is this well here. Should see the consumers. Here we go. I believe this is Lumley Oil Refinery. It is. It's already asking for 100 from there. So that's perfect. We will start getting truck deliveries to the station here. They'll fill up. And hopefully here then, there's nobody consuming this yet because we haven't dropped off any oil, but that will come with time, I assure you. So let's have a look. The other thing that I wanted to do now, before we check on the boat at the top whether that's doing anything yet, is I wanted to have a look at our finances. You can see here railroad 3.5, 6.5. So it is going up now. So let's take a look at our trains. I'm not too worried about the trucks if they are in profit or not, because all that'll happen is, see there's Hendon goods here, minus 675. See, that is quite a bit to be losing though, but they do have a fair distance. And as soon as everything else, the trains and everything are bringing more goods in, they'll be full more of the time. But as you can see there, that's losing 600. So total here, we're talking what? About 800,000, 900,000, let's call it. And here, the profit that we're making here is ridiculous. So Lumley Oil, we expect that to be low because it is only just kicking in. It hasn't made any deliveries yet, but Middleham delivery, has that just made a delivery? It looks like it's been operating pretty low, that. So what do we have? So we have a lot of bricks to come back. So I'm guessing we've just dropped a brick delivery off. Middleham now. So we're delivering goods and we're delivering construction materials, but we haven't got any fuel. So do we have any fuel waiting down at Padstow here? We don't actually have anything waiting on here. But does our train have the capability to carry fuel? It doesn't actually look like it does. It looks like we've only got state cars, unless... so these are this state car that can carry anything. So it could potentially carry fuel back. Okay. So what I need to do is find our fuel refinery. See if that has got now Middleham. So it can't see Middleham. Why can it not see Middleham? I'm guessing we've got fuel waiting here. So we can pick fuel up on the train. So why are we not seeing fuel? Maybe we don't have the ability to drop fuel off. So Middleham combat. We have Middleham deliveries. Let's have a look at this line. So at Middleham transfer, do we have any rules set up? Now you see, this tells me that this vehicle can't carry fuel. That's why we're not getting any fuel. So what we need to do is manage these vehicles, and we need to change all of those. At the minute, we've got this Volvo, is that correct? No, it isn't. It's Opel Blitz, isn't it, we've got? But it does say all cargo. No, sorry, it is. I was right, it's the Volvo LV66. There's just a couple of versions of it. For some reason, I can't select the one I want. I've got the one here that's dropping off construction materials. So what we need is one that can carry all cargo, which is going to be this Opel Blitz now. If I replace these guys, we now have the ability. Again, if I just go back into that, I shouldn't have clicked off that Middleham transfer. We can see now that it can pick up fuel. But the other thing I need to see now is in our city, where is the fuel? So it wants the fuel in the middle here, which would mean I would think that this will still cover it. It will. So we have the ability from this truck stop, everything that's highlighted white we can deliver to. And as you can see here, the fuel is all within that white area. Perfect. So what we should get now is where that fuel refinery is. We should start to see Middleham's just come online. So now fuel will start going down that route. Okay. So now what we need to do next is check whether our ship currently has anything. Yes. The ship's got plastic and it's got steel. Have we received anything yet? We've already got a little bit of plastic. Consumers we don't have yet. Maybe that's because we didn't have any steel. If this guy drops off, it should kick the factory into production. That was perfect timing, wasn't it? Lumley, there you go. As soon as we got some stuff delivered, we've got a consumer. So the next time he comes. So the only town at the minute on the map that needs goods that we're not delivering to is Salcombe. And Salcombe is just up the railroad here. I think I've almost decided that our cargo route here, I was in two minds, I'll be honest with you, whether to cut through the mountains here and go to Mossley and then deliver out to Silsden and Sherborne from there. And in fact, that's still a possibility. If we can snake up the hillside here through to Mossley and try and find a midpoint here, maybe we go somewhere in between Silsden and Mossley and it ends the cargo route. And then these other little towns here just sort of filter in. I think I'm going to end up having a branch line from this cargo hub just up to Hendon itself, delivering to Hendon. Or maybe we have some trucks that can load 50-50 fuel and tools, and the trucks can just truck it up, because it is sort of a mountainous town, isn't it? Maybe we do Hendon. I know I just said do. Maybe we do deliver to Hendon with just trucks from the cargo depot. I mean, it's not too far of a drive. If we were to connect this road here by the oil well up, it's not too bad, that. I don't mind that. But then maybe I think maybe I'm convincing myself as I go, maybe we carry this up into the middle here and we have a nice cargo hub. We're in the flat area here. From there we can have a branch line out. We could probably deliver by truck to Silsden and Mossley, or cargo tram maybe. And then by train out to Salcombe, Sherborne and Soham. And that would be every town connected up then. I just need you guys to let me know down in the comments what you think about that. But also, I'm still wondering whether to do passengers or not on this one. And if we do passengers, how do we do it? Do we expand this rail line we've currently got and just add branch lines in to have a sort of a 4-track main line? Or do we go, which I think would probably be the better solution at this point, is have a whole separate passenger route and maybe have a loop around the map, a main loop with little branch lines coming in and out at different hubs. Maybe every 3 or 4 towns have a bigger station and then have branch lines running in and out. Maybe that's one, because once we've connected everything up here, we're going to need something to keep us busy as we move into the future and get the more modern trains, aren't we? Cool, but that is where we're going to leave it for this episode, guys. As always, thanks a lot for joining me. If you've enjoyed the video, make sure you hit that like button, leave me a comment down below to help the YouTube algorithm, and I will see you all in the next video.
I guess it was a